get our full-blown acceleration. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2021 Ram 2500 Laramie with the 6.4 Hemi. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larich Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy for giving me some time with this 2021 Laramie. Check out the inventory link below. Let's get straight into the video. So under the hood we have a naturally aspirated 6.4 liter Hemi V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs for this engine are 410 horsepower and then 429 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go to the front end of this particular Laramie. So this one is finished in the Night Edition package. So it's going to have all blacked out badges, and then notice that the headlights themselves have also been blacked out. You still get the LED accent lights, and then the whole front grille has been blacked out, as well as kind of like the housing, and then right down there. Blacked out tow hooks. We do have parking sensors along the front, and then the fog lights. But yeah, other than that, that's everything for the front end. And this Night Edition, finished in flame red, looks really good. Now coming to the side here, we've got 285mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. The wheels have been all blacked out as part of this night package. And then this one also has the off-road package. So it has the performance-tuned shock absorbers. Those are finished in blue. And then notice that we've got the 6.4 Hemi badge there. It's been blacked out, and then the Ram badge as well. Got the trailer mirrors flipped up, which, I mean, it's a Ram thing. If you don't know, then that's completely fine. Here's your full side view on the truck, and then we'll quickly show you guys the suspension here in the rear. So again, we've got another performance shock absorber, and then we've got that coil suspension because it's a 2500. Now popping into the bed, first off, the payload capacity is 3,006 pounds. You get quite a bit more on the payload side of things when you get the 6.4 Hemi over the Cummins, because the 6.4 Hemi weighs substantially less. Now, aside from that, this truck does have the LED bed lights, and then it does have the outlet here in the back. No bed liner, but that's pretty easy to add. And then lifting this up, super easy to get that up and into place. And then we've got the LED lights here because it is a Laramie, but notice that this center portion has been darkened as part of that night package. And then we've got the blacked out logos here all along the back. Parking sensors on the bottom with the receiver hitch. By the way, towing capacity is kind of lower teens with the 6.4 Hemi. And then we've got the exhaust tip there at the bottom, and there's one more look before we pop in. Now here's a door panel in the back. So first off, we've got leather all over the door panel with the Alcantara here, and then we've got the blacked out trim, one of the speakers for the sound system, and then here are the full leather seats. So again, we've got the Alcantara mixed with the leather. We've got perforated leather here in the center portion, and then we have the Ram ice buckets underneath, and then you can see we've got the extra storage space with that. Then coming over here, this does have a bench seat, so there's nothing there, but notice that we do have the outlet and some USBs there at the bottom portion. And yeah, other than that, so yeah. Now let's go over the door panel here in the front. So again, we've got all the leather trim here with the Alcantara, and then the blacked out trim at the top. Memory seats, and we've got all of our window controls with the power folding mirror adjustment, and then that is actually the adjustment for the little convex mirror. And then another speaker for the Alpine sound system. Here are the seats at the front. So again, it says Laramie on it. We've got all the Alcantara, or sorry, the suede rather, and then you've got the perforated leather here in the center. You've got your adjustments right there, and that's part of the seat. And then you've got the pedal layout down below with the light controls. This one does have power adjustable pedals, and there's one more look before we pop in. Now I want this to mostly be about the driving, so I'll quickly go over the options on this particular truck. So you guys can see with the Laramie, you get the leather wrapped steering wheel, radio controls there on the back, and then here's a quick look at the gauge cluster. You can see the average MPG, but it's not very accurate because the truck has like no miles on it. What you'll actually average is probably like mid-teens roughly. And then this one does have the 12-inch display, so you guys can see all that with the climate controls. And then on the camera side of things, this one just has the traditional backup camera with the zoom function. And then heated, cooled seats are all standard with the Laramie. Heated steering wheel, dual zone climate, all that fun stuff. And then you guys can see here with the rest of the infotainment system. And then you do have the off-road pages that now come with the trucks. And then this one does have the auxiliary switches, and then that's to turn on and off the parking sensors, your stability control, tow haul mode, trailer brakes, and then the dial shifter. This does come with the trucks that have the 8-speed automatic transmission. You get a column shifter if you go for the diesel. And then since it does have the off-road package, it does have the hill descent control as well. And then you've got some USBs down there, and then you've got this little extra storage cubby because it's got the bench seat, which, speaking of the bench seat, here it is. You can see all of that, and then it has the extra storage underneath. And then we've got the dual glove box setup. It says Laramie there on the front, and then there's nice leather all over the dash, and then notice it has the logo for the Alpine sound system. And then the last option that this truck has is a sunroof that's been added, and then power sliding window is standard with the Laramies, but that's all for the interior. Now it's probably hard to see because of the glare, but hopefully you guys can kind of see the window sticker here. Sorry, it's not the best viewing, but you can see that the total MSRP is $64,340, and don't want to walk into another, I almost walked into another truck right there. But anyways, let's take it out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off here in this 2021 Ram 2500 Laramie with the 6.4 Hemi. So there's your visibility over the hood, and then through both of the mirrors, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. So we are setting off in this Ram 2500 with the 6.4 Hemi. And I'm actually driving this purposely with the trailer mirrors up because I've never done that for a review, and I thought that it'd be cool to do that so you guys can see what it kind of looks like throughout this point of view video from a driving perspective with the mirrors popped up. But let's talk about the 2500 first, and then we'll get into the 6.4 Hemi engine. So first off, the biggest difference between a 2500 and a 3500 is the suspension. This uses the 5-link coil system, whereas the 3500 uses leaf springs. So this rides a lot smoother compared to a 3500. And on top of that, it has lower payload capacity compared to a 3500. But if you get a 3500 with the Cummins or this 2500 with the 6.4 Hemi, your payload capacity is actually about the same. So what you really want to do with these trucks is look at exactly how much you're going to be towing and then how much you're going to need from a payload standpoint, so then you can pick the best truck that also has the smoothest ride. I mean, that's at least what I would do if I was looking into one of these trucks. Now, aside from that, it definitely does ride rougher compared to a half-ton truck, but for a heavy duty, it's very smooth, very comfortable as well. So definitely, it's really good from that perspective. Now, aside from that, kind of see what the brakes are like. Yeah, just like regular heavy-duty brakes, definitely feels like it stops quicker though compared to a truck with the Cummins, but I mean, it has a lot less weight, and we'll get a partial acceleration. Man, that 6.4 Hemi sounds amazing, and this 8-speed automatic transmission that was paired with this engine when they redid this body style is such a good combo, because now it just makes this truck feel so alive. And let's get our full-blown acceleration. See how quick it is? Like, it's quick for a heavy-duty truck. Acceleration-wise, it feels about the same as like a half-ton with a 5.7 Hemi, roughly somewhere around that is where I would put it. If you guys are wondering, again, from an acceleration perspective. But yeah, I guess that'll get me into summing things up here with this 2021 Ram 2500 Laramie, again with a 6.4 Hemi. So first off, from an exterior styling perspective, I feel like it's a really good looking truck with this night package. I definitely do prefer kind of like the blacked out looks on vehicles. You guys know that I'm a huge fan of that. So I always recommend the night package. This flame red definitely shouts, right? It's definitely a bright color, and you guys know I'm all about bright colors, so I really like how this truck looks. It definitely stands out, like with the off-road package and with this night package, it definitely has like a nice stance, and then also just it's bright and it's out there, and I love it. And aside from that, the interior of the Laramie, you guys know, really nice interior materials, feels like a nice modern truck. Now from a driving perspective, again with the 2500, this is very smooth, very comfortable. But the other thing with the 2500 is also just the fact that if you pair this up with the 6.4 Hemi versus the Cummins, you're going to have a pretty good payload capacity for a truck. And then in terms of the 6.4 Hemi, it's not going to get as good fuel economy as you're going to get with the Cummins, but it costs substantially less. Like a very similarly equipped truck to this that has a Cummins is going to be over 70 grand, just to give you guys an idea. So first off, cost is less. Cost is less. Man, it's so hard to do that. And then aside from the cost, right, your payload's higher, and this accelerates great. You get tons of low-end torque, sounds amazing, and it still tows a decent amount, right? It's kind of like, depending on the gearing with the truck, it's like low to mid-teens, which is, I mean, more than what most people need. So if you want a truck that sounds great. You need the heavy duty payload capacity, but you don't really need the diesel towing. Go for the 6.4 Hemi. It's a great engine, and paired to this 8-speed automatic, it is fantastic. It's so buttery smooth, and it's actually quick to accelerate. That's going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Ram 2500 Laramie with the 6.4 Hemi. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy for giving me some time with the truck. Check out the inventory link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.